Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I'm your host, Davion. I'm joined by Emmett
Of y'all.
and Lillian.
What's up?
And today we are back in our Let's Talk NFL, our Let's Talk NBA series. And today we're talking about the Utah Jazz. So like we start all of these, how do you guys think the Utah Jazz will do? Last season they finished 12th in the West, even though we all know the West is very competitive. They finished 12th. What do you guys think they can do this season?
I mean, I think the Jazz get into the play-in, and I think they shoot their way into the playoffs through that. I think we see them finish as the 7th seed.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I was thinking. I think it could be a 7-8 seed for sure. And if say at the deadline they are winning and want to buy to pair someone with their guys, I think they could even get higher if they're healthy and everything.
Yeah, I definitely think they're very competitive. I think they're a team that you shouldn't look down on at all. And I think they have a lot of pieces that are clicking, and you saw it last season they clicked. Some games, I think some games their youth showed that they were inexperienced and didn't know what they were doing. But I mean, when you look at some of the key players that they have, they can be very effective scoring and just playing good basketball. So when we look at some of these players like Jordan Clarkson, Taylor Horton-Tucker, Colin Sexton, John Collins, Larry Markkinen, like when you look at these guys, like who stands out the most, and what stands out about you to them, like, or what stands out to you about them?
Well, I mean, for me, it's obviously Lauri Markkinen. First time All-Star last year, when most improved. He's coming off 26 points a game. I don't expect him necessarily to improve on that, but I expect continued production there. And then I would just love to see the continued development of Walker Kessler.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for me, it's Markkinen, and kind of a dual threat between Kessler and Colin Sexton.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm looking at it. I think Jordan Clarkson is one of the best six mans in the NBA when he doesn't start in the system. I mean, I think he won six man a couple seasons ago whenever they had Mike Conley. I mean, he's a walking bucket sometimes, and I think if he can play consistently where he has been playing over the past two seasons, he can continue to be a star. Colin Sexton, I think if he can continue to develop and stay healthy, he'll be fine. Like just watching this game, I think he's a very scrappy, and he's like a microwave in 2K. It's like if he heats up, he's great, but if he's not heating up, he's cold, and it's obvious that he can't shoot, he can't. But if he could stay on the defensively side of the ball, and this whole team as a whole can be defensively, like change into a very defensive team, then they'll be great. I mean, and that'll help them competitively. So I mean, with the addition of John Collins now, like, what do you guys expect out of him, and what do you guys want to see from him?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think really what I want to see is I want to see the John Collins that we saw a couple of years ago in 2020. Just a an athletic freak who is going to finish well at the rim. That's really all he needs to do for this team. He needs to produce offensively. They have an anchor in Kessler. They've got a great wing in Markkinen. All he needs to do is slot in and fill his role.
I think he would be a really good option if they were thinking about this to make him the sixth man on the team, and like maybe put someone like Olynyk to start, even though you'd probably say Collins is better than Olynyk. Like, I don't know, you've had plenty of examples of, like, even Jordan Clarkson, like, he was definitely better than
Probably.
yeah. But, like, take him off the bench, just kind of have that sort of energy to run the second unit, just so you always have somebody. Um, and like, they'll probably do that with like Chris Paul and Golden State.
Mhm.
Um, even though you could probably start him over what's his name?
I don't know about that.
Um, who's there?
Clay, Steph,
Yeah, it'll go like Chris Paul, Clay, Steph, Draymond and Looney.
you would put Steph on the bench?
No, like Steph at the two.
Oh, what's
Oh,
his
I see what you're
face?
saying.
Wiggins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait.
See, so they like could do Chris Paul, Curry, Clay, Wiggins, and Draymond, but they'll probably just go um play Looney in the starting lineup over Chris Paul, even though, you know, the other lineup would be better. Anyways, yeah, I think that he could be a good six man for them.
You make
Yeah.
a good point. Like if you could, and I think when it comes to NBA, like when you have a good second unit come out there, and make a big spark and a big splash, like either points or defensively, like that always helps. And if John Collins, I mean, if you bring John Collins and Colin Sexton off the bench, I mean, to lead that second unit, and they can, granted, these two leading a second unit is very interesting to say out loud. But if you could have those two guys leading the second unit off, like, I mean, effectively and efficiently, I mean, they could be one of the a really good second unit. And I think watching these dudes, like, it's gonna be fun to watch this team this season because, like, just seeing the identity that they have, um seeing the what's the word I want to say, like the identity that they create, or the it, like what motivates them to win games and come out and compete every night, and their game plan like will be very interesting. And I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see if they can like compete and be like effective when competing this season. Because I think they can, and I think um the odds are in their favor, quite frankly, too, that they can be competitive and effective and efficient. Do I think they will be playoff deep teams? No, but I definitely think that there'll be a team that during the regular season you're gonna have to wake up for. Like you can't just like, and I think that's how they're gonna win a lot of games. If teams are gonna sleep on them, and they're gonna beat them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
So looking at the West, and looking at where they finished 12th last season, y'all said that they can get into that seventh position. Um, and I want to see like how do you guys think, um what do you think they need to do to be effective this season? Like what do you think their game plan needs to be like for them to be competitive going into the next season?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's mostly they just need to stay healthy. And that's obviously that's the truth for every NBA team, but you know, they had a little bit of an injury bug last year. As long as their best players on the floor, they're going to compete every night. I think that last year they lost a lot of close games to good teams. I would expect the opposite to be true this year. I think they win a lot of close games this year.
Um, I think that they just need to be like selfless and share the ball. Like, I think this team is like comprised of a lot of dudes that are like just past like their rookie contracts and like anywhere between like 24 to 28 years old. There's a lot of experienced guys, but wouldn't say like they're all stars. So sort of reminds me of like the 2018 Jazz team that they were, I mean, they had like a rookie Donovan Mitchell, they had like Joe Johnson, Gobert, Joe Ingles, who was better at the time. Like, in that team, they didn't have like a stud, but they just, they trusted like each other, and like any one of those guys could go off each night. And they beat the Thunder, who had Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo. Like, and they were the fifth seed. So like something similar to like that, like that'd probably be best case if like they just kind of use their combined experience to just make some really good team basketball. Like they could definitely like exceed expectations. So they just have to, be selfless, like trust each other and all that.
For sure. Completely agree. Well, any final thoughts we have on Utah? And what do you think? Okay, one more question before I do this. What do you guys think they're missing? What are they missing as a team to make that take that leap this season?
I mean, really, they needed a guard. They needed a point guard, and as much as I like Colin Sexton, I don't think they found that yet.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Yeah. Like a pass
Yeah,
first point
Yeah.
guard, reliable. That'd be really nice to have.
yeah, I completely agree. Well, any final thoughts you guys have on Utah? All right. Well, I thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Let's Talk NBA series. Utah fans, let us know how you feel about that, and I'm excited to see what you guys do this season. But I have been your host, Davion. This has been the post game. Peace.